By now, you all are familiar with the story of Christian Battersby, the young pilot that dove off the jetty and sustained some injuries. It's Dr. Brown, and because of this story, we are going to talk about neck and spinal cord injuries. I want to start off by wishing this young man a speedy recovery, and this conversation is a general conversation about neck and spinal cord injuries. It is not specific to his injuries. One of my first patients when I was an intern was a young man who actually dove into shallow water. He broke his neck and ended up with paralysis from the neck down. His spine is made up of several bones known as vertebrae. These bones are further separated into your cervical, which is in your neck, your thoracic, which is along the chest, your lumbar, which is your lower back, your sacrum, which is also part of your lower back, and your coccyx. The point of your vertebrae are 1, to protect your spinal cord, 2, to provide movement and flexibility of your upper body, and 3, it provides structure. So injuries to your vertebrae in your neck usually happen in automobile accidents or high impact accidents, jumping or falling, sports, and diving. When you get trauma to your neck or your vertebrae, you can end up fracturing, breaking, or dislocating any of the vertebrae. That type of injury can cause something called a spinal cord shock. You end up with what we call a flaccid paralysis or a quadriplegia, temporarily or transiently. Doctors really can't tell you if you are paralyzed within the first 24 hours of sustaining this injury, right? Because your spinal cord may be in some shock. It takes some time to recover, and it takes hours or 24 hours really to make a proper assessment and weeks to really understand the extent of the injury. If the trauma or the dislocation or fracture is severe enough, it can cause an incomplete or complete lesion to your spinal cord. If it's a complete lesion, then you're going to end up with a paralysis below the level of the injury, whichever vertebrae it would have occurred at. If this sort of injury happens in water, then the person is not going to be able to swim, so they may end up aspirating water and drowning. This is why a patient who ends up with this type of injury would need chest compressions or cardiopulmonary resuscitation. So to the Good Samaritan that performed those chest compressions on Christian, you are a hero, and thank you for stepping up to the plate. And to all of the emergency responders, you all really stepped up. To Christian, I want to wish you a very speedy recovery, and I want you to know that your story has touched us all, and we are praying for you. You're in our prayers.